Hey yo gamers, it's Pufuu here and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm gonna be doing a showcase of some Splatoon 3 concepts and edits that I have made myself. Splatoon 3 isn't coming out till 2022 and that's quite a bit of time. And while we wait for Nintendo to finish developing the game, the fandom has came up with something else. Concepts. I bet you've seen quite a bit of Splatoon 3 concepts everywhere. From artists to editors who just everywhere you go, there's just concepts of Splatoon 3. And I have made quite a bit that I would like to share with you today. So why don't we get into it? So here's my first photo. This is the UI that I designed for Splatsville. You'll notice a couple things I've added here. Number one, we got ourselves a location tab or a location mark. And here's my prediction for Splatoon 3. There have been quite a bit of speculation and some theories regarding a possible train system or metro system for Splatoon 3. You'll notice that in Splatsville, there is an actual train station off near the main battle lobby. So it could be possible that Inkling or Octoling is able to traverse the Splats land. We could probably visit different locations to access certain modes, such as story mode, which may be only accessible if you use the train station. Next up we have is the main UI. So these are going to be this is the main UI thing that we'll have access to. We get to see our levels, the amount of sea snails we have, our currency, and our rank. So a couple things I want to mention is number one, sea snails. They're back. Either they are returning or Nintendo might decide to switch it up and give us something new. Who knows? But I think sea snails are definitely returning back. We also have our currency. Now, here's what I'm thinking. I think our currency this is just a concept or idea, but I think it'd be pretty neat if instead of actually having like a coin icon, we could probably have like a credit card. I know it sounds kind of wild. So our Inkling right here is level 143. Splatoon 2, the max level cap you get to is level 99, and then you prestige to star 1 all the way to star 99, and then you keep on resetting your level. But I think we need Nintendo to increase the level cap, because 99 is cool and all, but if you get into the triple digits, then it's like, whoa, you better watch out. That person plays Splatoon 3 quite a bit. Just below the level is that we had is the rank. So I'm thinking Nintendo will definitely include a new rank this time around. We have stuck with S+ when we began Splatoon 2, so in Splatoon 3 we'll definitely have an X rank. But I think this time around, Nintendo might include an additional rank known as Elite X. Elite X is basically a new rank that is above X rank. This rank specifically is meant for players who have a crown. So a crown is given to the top 500 players in Splatoon 2. So this rank specifically would have the top most competitive players battling each other, and it's just a rank that people try to get into. So below that we have is our power level, and I think it'd be a pretty neat idea if Nintendo was able to display the crown icon in the hub world UI, indicating that you are in fact the top 500 player. Down below that, what we see is that we have our Splatnet icon, kind of like in Animal Crossing, how we have access to, what is it called again, the Nook phone or something? Yeah, something like that. But this time around, we may be able to access Splatnet. And Splatnet isn't just an app where it just shows you stats and whatever. It has a lot more to it this time around. So yes, we will have our stats for the game, but we'll also have a map for the hub world. Instead of just calling it a menu, Nintendo could call it Splatnet, and it's a phone. Also, you'll notice that there is a notification sign right there beside the phone. I don't know, in Super Smash Bros., they had a feature where you could share videos, screenshots, and just stages and Mii costumes and whatever. Wouldn't it be neat if Nintendo included something in Splatoon 3 where you're able to communicate with your friends and other people around the world? Maybe you could share some fun gameplay moments or spectate people, or share things like, oh, here's my outfit for today, and show off your Inkling wearing some pretty neat attire. Whatever it is, you could just share different content with everybody in Splatoon. And if you want to check other people's work, you just pull up your phone in the game and it's like, okay, you could take a look at what other people are sharing. That would work really well with Nintendo Switch Online as well, right? Yeah, so this is basically the entire UI of Splatsville. Next up we have is the lobby UI. This one has a lot going on, so I'm gonna try my best to explain it. First things first is that we have is the same kind of UI design as the previous one. We have our super sea snails here, we have our currency here, and then we have our level, right? Below that, we have is our freshness level. In Splatoon 2, it was mainly just a bunch of flags, and it just give you a title like, oh, you're super fresh, you're dry, or you're raw, or whatever it was, right? This time around, I thought it'd be neat if we had a medal instead. So for every weapon, instead of just giving us a freshness level from 1 to, I think it was 20, This time around we could have something around possibly a medal. So I think that'd be a unique achievement that Nintendo could definitely add just to increase gameplay and to really give you an incentive to just really play with a certain weapon more. And maybe if you're a completionist, you'll definitely want to use every single weapon to get that platinum medal. So besides that, we have our mode here. So we have Turf War Classic. So I'm gonna do a video more in depth about different game modes ideas that I do have. So stick around for that, and don't forget to subscribe for that, because I'm gonna go in depth about all these modes that I have planned. But I thought it'd be neat if we had two types of Turf War modes instead. So we have Turf War Classic, and then we have something called Turf War Frenzy, and I'll explain a bit of that later in a different video. But currently the mode that is selected is Turf War Classic. Below that, we have our stages. Nintendo included a win rate, just like they had on Splatnet. This time around, it's accessible in the lobby. So you can see what your win rate is for a stage, and there's also a little 5-star ranking thing too, depending on how good you are. So right now we have is Darter Dig Site. Now this is the map that they showcased in the Splatoon 3 trailer. It doesn't have an official name, but I thought, okay, kind of looks like a dig site. There's some dinosaur fossils. I was like, okay, Darter Dig Site. Darter is a fish breed. I have no clue, but it's a good pun. And below that we have Salt Spray Rig. Yes, please make this stage return. I know people didn't like it. Like, it's not a good stage. It's poorly laid out, but you know what? Salt Spray Rig? I'm an OG Splatoon guy, okay? I played Splatoon 1 when it came out, and it's close to me. It's close to my heart. I don't care if it's bad. Just bring it back. I don't know. I had fun on it. Below that we have is our abilities. This should happen for sure, please, because I know I've been in a lobby and I have literally no clue what my abilities are, what I'm wearing currently. Like, yes, you should technically remember what ability is associated with what piece of gear you're wearing, but it just makes it easier for my life. I just displayed the abilities right there in front of me. Like, I don't want to open up my equipment menu again and then have to look through and see what I'm wearing, and it's just too much work. So just showcase the abilities you have. I will do a video that'll go in depth about what each ability does. So don't forget to subscribe for that too as well. I have a lot of different concepts I wish to share. So if you guys want to see those, guys subscribe. So the ability right here is actually called Withdraw. It just increases certain abilities if your team is in danger. You know when that little danger sign pops up? Yeah, exactly. It increases some of your sub abilities just to help you out if you are in danger. Besides that, we have is... That looks pretty sus. It's literally called sus. How do I explain this? It lets you splat your own teammates without them knowing. The sad part is I put this concept up on Twitter and people thought this was real. And then someone said like, oh, this is fake because there's an Among Us ability. Was that not obvious? Beside that, we have is an ability called Quick Startup. Quick Startup basically lets you increase mobility if you're in your spawn point. Just increases your stats if you're in your home base. So I guess if you have to split a map into 3 sections, there's your home base, your opponent's base, and then mid. Your home base is where your abilities get boosted. So who knows, Nintendo could possibly add a sort of territorial ability. So basically those are the 3 abilities, briefly summarized. Below that we have is our equipment. You could, same thing as Splatoon 2, the equipment. And then we have our menu that, pulls up your phone again. So here's a comparison between the Splatoon 3 concept that I made and then the Splatoon 2 version. They have very similar designs and basically the same layout. I thought I'd just play around with mainly color and just the aesthetic of it in general and added some little extra bonus features. So beside that, we have our different modes. So what we have right here is called regular battles. So I was thinking instead of just having one Turf War, we could have 2 modes for Turf War this time around. So we'll have Classic and Frenzy Turf War. So Classic Turf War is basically the same thing as previous games. Nothing has changed. It's the classic regular rule set, nothing too crazy. Frenzy, on the other hand, is a little bit more chaotic. You could probably get, who knows, maybe get your special, like you get unlimited specials, or it's just, imagine Splatoon hacks, but they're not hacks anymore. Also, we have a new logo upgrade as well. So it looks like our original logo is here, but this time around we have a new logo and it's definitely more chaotic. Below that, we have is tourney battles. So I've heard a lot of people wanted this, but a dedicated mode for tournaments. It'd just be easier to organize a tournament, to join a tournament. But that we have is ranked battles. Back this time, instead of being orange, it's pink. Why not give it a color change? That'd be nice. But yeah, ranked battles is basically back. Above that, what we have is a notification thing. I thought it'd be pretty cool if a friend wanted to invite you to something, it would just pop up with a notification and you can click on it really quickly and it allows you to get into the game faster. Next up is our intro for a battle. Same thing as Splatoon 2, we have our intro, but this time around it labels what the stage is. We have Darter Dig Site down here, and with a more chaotic look this time around. You can definitely see with the text, it has a more sandy, dirty looking look to it. Yeah, this is just the battle intro. Nothing much else to say aside from the fact that we get a pretty unique look at the new stage. Okay, this is a thing. Nintendo doesn't give dedicated servers. This is basically going to happen. Next image. Okay, so this is our gameplay footage. I decided to slap on a UI for our gameplay footage, and we'll describe it real quick. So, in the run, the person who is jumping here actually has a splat bow. This time around, what we're gonna see is probably 3 cursors for each individual shot. As you know, the splat bow does shoot 3 projectiles, so it would make more sense if we had 3 cursors that indicate where our shots are gonna go. Above that, we have is our UI that indicates everyone's weapons. So yeah, same thing as Splatoon 2. It shows off what weapon each team has, and it also indicates if a special is ready. This exclamation mark, what does this mean? Down here, where our callouts are, so this way in Booyah, we have a special indicator that gives you an exclamation mark to alert your team that something is important. If you want to call out something like, hey, look, there's someone over there, they're hiding, or whatever it is, you could call that out with an exclamation mark and your team would know. Beside that, what we have is actually our special gauge. Now, there's kind of a lot of things I gotta explain. So, what does this up arrow mean? This up arrow means that our special, maybe it's like a special boost that we get. Who knows? Maybe you could fill up your special gauge faster at the beginning of a match or something like that. Just a little extra. What are these little extra marks here? I was thinking maybe it's a stretch, but if Nintendo allowed us to use our special maybe a little bit early on, but if we use it earlier, that means we just get less time to use it. So if you load up your special halfway, you couldn't use it, but it'll be a weaker version of the special. We also have our icons for the special weapons, this is Inkzuka, and then below that we also have our abilities here. Above that, what we have is actually 2 subs. So in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, there was actually 2 items that you could access. I was thinking, what in Splatoon 3, you had actually 2 subs that you can use, and you could interchange and use whichever one you wanted. Next image is our victory screens. Instead of just Inklings standing in a straight line and doing their little dance or animation or whatever, wouldn't it be better if Nintendo did a dynamic group photo thing? That'd be a really cute idea. So what we have right here is that we have our little bars, once again returns with the whole percentage and the points and everything, and then we have our win bonus. But this time around, we have is our a way more dramatic pose position. As you can see, we have our Inklings and our Octolings posing. We got Caught You 4K. Look at these names, aren't they funny? You're a rack. So I can't with her face. I can't with her face. Right, so what we have here is an MVP feature. I thought it'd be neat if Nintendo included a special reward for any player who sells better than everyone else. Whoever focuses on the objective the most, or maybe covers the most turf, gets the most splats, whatever player is basically the most valued would get a special reward and an extra little bonus. Aside from that, there's not much else to say aside from just a more dramatic victory pose. That'd be kind of fun. And yeah, so that concludes every single image. These are all concepts. Just putting out there right now, these are not real. But I mean, it's pretty cool to discuss about ideas that we could see in Splatoon 3. So it's not harmful, right? I mean, I might have said it was real a couple times and tricked quite a bit of people into clicking on a link that sends them to a baby stroller. That's a story for another time.